Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Well, today is the first big harvest from this garden that I started back in February. It is time to harvest some cauliflower, broccoli, carrots, dill, lettuce, whatever else we can find, so let's get into it. Alright, so let's start here with this beautiful cauliflower. This is a good size now. I'm really happy with the size of this. It's about the size of my hand. I don't want to wait too much longer because I don't want it to start separating, but this is a good size for us. This will last us about a week for meals at night, so I'm happy to harvest this now. Okay, so that is, see that there? That is a beautiful cauliflower. Happy with that. Get these leaves off here. That's a perfect size cauliflower for us. I'm really happy with that. Okay, so this broccoli here is quite small, but it is starting to separate, so I'm actually going to pick that now because I don't want it to start going to flower, and I might just leave this in here and hopefully we'll get some side shoots off this plant, because this is, yeah, I think this is the Calabrese variety, which I'm not overly happy with. They all seem to be really small heads. I need to pick some of these sugar snap peas before they get too large and stop producing. I haven't had a great crop off these this year. I didn't plant as many as I did last year, and I do come out here and pick them regularly to eat while I'm in the garden. But yeah, just struggling with the soil in these garden beds, which I've talked about before. So that one's quite flat, like a snow pea, but the rest of these are quite chubby and they taste, they're so sweet and so delicious. I just cannot help but eat them when I'm out here. So trying to get a bowl full of them is a bit difficult. But they are one of my favourite things to grow as soon as the weather starts to turn cold. Not like today, it's such a beautiful day today. Quite a few on this side because I don't think I picked these yesterday when I was out here. So hopefully we'll get a decent amount today. And it's almost grown over. It's getting there, but not quite. Maybe next year we'll get there. I need to pick one of these beautiful lettuce and take inside to keep in the fridge to add to my smoothies and salads, and I'm really reluctant to pull it out because it looks so nice, but I've got some other lettuce to pop in place of this. Normally I just come and pick the leaves. I want to take one inside, so I've got it on hand in the fridge, and they do last quite well in the fridge. So let's pick this one on the end so that it still looks quite pretty from over there. How beautiful that is. So big. Okay, I want to pick some of these carrots. I don't know if they're ready yet, but they're looking quite large, and I think I need to thin some of these out so that they can get a bit larger. Let me find one here that needs thinning. This one here definitely needs thinning, but I don't think it's very big. Okay, that's tiny, but it needed to be thinned. And I want to pick one of these larger ones. Where's a large one? Okay, I think I'm going to pick this one here. Whoa, that's not too bad. Look at that. I'm pretty happy with that. That's probably one of the biggest carrots I've grown so far. And these don't even look like they're ready yet. Very happy with that. Okay, let's grab one more. Let's find another big one in here. You know what, I'm going to go for this one over here because it looks big. I'm supposed to push down first, then pull. Whoa! Okay, we got two there. But look at that. That's so cool. Okay, I think that'll do for the carrots. We might just let them get a bit bigger. Okay, so I had to net these big tomatoes. This is the Gross Lizzie variety because the birds just kept attacking the tomatoes. So before we went away to New Zealand, I put these nets on. I actually did a double net on this one. This is quite thick. Kevin's dad gave me these bags and they're actually really good. So I'll definitely be using those through summer. But look how beautiful these tomatoes are. They're just starting to blush. So I'm going to pick them now, take them inside, so there's no risk of the birds attacking them or getting through these nets. So I'll just pop them on the table inside and they'll ripen up probably in a few days. I think there's some peck marks on there from the birds trying to get through the net, but that's okay, I'm still gonna eat them. More over here that I'm gonna pick as well that I netted, and they're starting to blush. Another 3. It's probably the biggest tomatoes I've grown, so I'm really happy with that. They'll be beautiful once they've ripened inside. Let me dust the baby carrot. I'm gonna harvest some of this dill while I'm out here as well, because I don't want it to get too big. I've already harvested some of this and used it in salads and it's absolutely delicious. But this dill can get absolutely massive, so I'm gonna try and keep this reasonably small. I love dill, it's one of my favorite herbs. And I've got a few scattered through this garden, so last year I ended up wasting a lot of it. I didn't use it, I should have frozen it, but this year I'm determined not to waste anything. So I think that'll do for the dill. I'll grab one from over here, this is a bit big too. Nice bunch of dill. Okay, so while I'm out here, I'll give you a bit of a tour around the garden. So the stock flowers that I planted in this pot here, they have started to bloom and they look gorgeous. Some more over here. How beautiful are they? So I have more cauliflower and broccoli heading up in here, but they're all pretty tiny at the moment. You can see how small that little head is there. The rest of them are only about that size. I'm hoping they start to get a bit bigger. There's one over there, but yeah, I'm not fussed on this Calabrese variety. I'm growing Aurora over here, I'll show you. This one here is Aurora, which is doing quite good considering it doesn't get a lot of sun in this bed, so at least the head is a bit bigger than the Calabrese ones. This spring onion that I popped in the ground is got a head on it and it's gonna flower. Sorry, this was just a supermarket one and I just stuck the roots in the ground and it's grown, but I'm really keen to see how this flower turns out because I think they are quite pretty, so I'm just letting that go. I am going to move these strawberries over to the garden bed where the fruit trees are planted over there so they get more sun, because they don't get sun here until midday and they're not really doing much, so they need a lot more sun than what they're getting. This entire bed doesn't get a lot of sun until about 11, so things are really struggling to grow in this bed, but that cabbage is looking nice. It's nice and big. I've got some more broccoli heads over here, but not expecting these to do much because they just don't get enough sun. This super dwarf sunset peach is starting to leaf out now, which I'm excited about. Looks like it's got a little peach growing there. So fingers crossed that stays on the plant and I get to taste these ones. These are a white peach and they stay really small, and I'm just going to leave this in a container. The celery in this grow bag is going pretty nuts. It seems to be loving this environment. I planted these at the same time as I planted these ones in the garden bed here, and these are tiny still. So not sure why, but I'm just letting it happen because I love celery. This capsicum plant just keeps going. Like, this is California Wonder, and it is starting to set flower again. So this was planted at the end of summer last year. We're almost at the end of winter here. It has produced all through winter, and it's starting to flower and fruit again. So good to know we can grow capsicum all year round here in subtropical Australia. Another capsicum here that I've completely neglected, and it has fruit on it. I think the birds got to that one because they thought it was a tomato, but these just keep growing, it's crazy. Finally planted my lychee tree in a pot. Got it out of that tiny pot that it was in, and it looks like it is starting to flower, I think. So that's very exciting. This cauliflower here in a pot has got a little head on it, so that's really cute. The cherry tree is flowering. Look how pretty it is. I took some photos of it before I went on holidays because the flowers just started to bloom. I don't think you can see them quite well there. But yeah, this cherry tree is flourishing. It's my favorite tree. Notice these red dots on the leaves. I don't know if you can see that. I'm not sure what that is. I'm new to growing cherries, so it's all learning. But fingers crossed we might get some cherries off this year. The onions in this tub are just going gangbusters. Whatever I put in this tub, it just grows. It's really cool. So I think around November they'll be ready to be picked. The garlic and onions just doing its thing. The onions finally started to get some height onto it because they were really slow to start, but the garlic was always doing well, so just waiting for those for another few months until they're ready to harvest. And my peach tree, fruit salad tree, has got fruit on it. I don't know if you can see that. There's a nectarine there. Come around this side. You see the nectarine there? And there's a peach over here as well. You see that? I'll do a close-up shot soon. Tons of flowers. So looks like this baby's gonna fruit for me, which is really cool because I've already had it for about 3 weeks. The tomatoes that I seeded last week have all started sprouting. So we've got the Amish paste, German yellow, Cherokee purple, San Marzano, and this dwarf Bendigo blush. So very happy. I didn't even use a heat mat. These just all popped up from the sun that they get out here, which is awesome. And I'm gonna start my cucumber and celery and a bunch of other summer seedlings today too. And the blueberries are they've all bursted out into flower after repotting them and pruning them a few weeks ago. Getting new leaves. This one over here's got tons of flowers. So that's cool. Hopefully we'll get some decent blueberries this year, which will be the first year. So that's it guys, thanks for coming along on my little backyard adventure and harvesting. If you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't done so already. And let me know what you're harvesting in the comments below. I love hearing from you. And I'll see you next week. Bye.